Hey everybody, I wanted to show you my new support system for my corn and my raised beds. I really didn't want anything that's going to be permanent because I'll be growing stuff in here in the fall. So what I have done is I've taken some, what are these? 1x2 by 8s, and I've cut them up and used them in pieces here. This board right here is actually a 2-foot section, which I've hammered down into the corner here and put one nail just to provide some support there, and I will probably leave this here. This is something that I use possibly in the spring. You know, if I sow some, or I put some plants out here a little earlier, I can take these boards here. I've got one on each end, and staple some plastic to, and that'll keep the plants in there. It kind of acts as a little mini greenhouse. You can have little mini greenhouses all over your backyard if you want to. But anyway, I will probably leave these in. They don't really get in my way, and they can serve a purpose in the future. But you can see the boards, how I've got them run this way and this way. You can see where I've got them attached, and I chose to use these zip ties. These things can really come in handy in the garden, and they're cheap, which is nice. So I've got my boards here. This is an 8-foot section. It's attached there, and then another little section running on the top of that one on the inside is that attached with another zip line. Now these boards up here, you can see it's pretty sturdy too. And what I'll do in the fall, once the corn is done, just cut these off, pick my boards up, and I can reuse them again. But anyway, these boards right here, what I was saying, are movable. So, you know, if the corn gets a little bit bigger, I can take those out, and once they're taller and more stable, I can move these. You know, if the corn come out here one day and the corn's kind of laying a little bit more, I can move these over and it'll hold the corn in place, and it seems to be working so far. It's probably going to be tried a little bit this afternoon because we're supposed to have some thunderstorms. Now I don't have any boards going this way, but I certainly could come in here and put me another board right down the middle of these two, or right next to these corn, if they were to decide to lean, you know, left or right. But anyway, the main problem I was having with these, where they were coming this way, the wind was blowing them toward me. So I think I've got them stabilized for right now, and corn's looking good. Here is a smaller bed. You can do the same thing. And if you don't have the zip ties, which I kind of ran out of zip ties, I had some cheap wire that you use for maybe for Christmas lights, hanging up stuff and ornaments, and just took it, wrapped it around these two boards and tied it, and it's pretty stable too. So the main concern for me in the past was keeping this corn upright, and looks like this is going to work. So very cheap. These boards, these 8-foot boards, I bought at Lowe's for 98 cents a piece, and you can cut them to whatever length you want. I think pretty sure these ended up to be 48 inches because my box, or this box is a 4x4. So I think it's going to work. I hope so. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an idea of growing corn in raised beds. And last year I used some boards because I had actually used another method where I was using some string, and it worked a little bit, but not as well as these boards. So anyway, there's an idea. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching.